come into effect.
All right, Megha, we'll keep coming back to you. Thank you so much for that update. All right, let me also rope in Adit Kothari, foreign affairs expert, into this conversation as well. Adit, first of all, it's important to understand the American role in this entire conflict. Donald Trump has taken an exit. How would you respond to Andrew's remarks about Donald Trump that perhaps more responsibility should have been shown by the American president when it comes to this grouping, and perhaps sticking around and trying to find a solution, and not go on X or any other social media site and talk about war and talk about possibilities in war, because at this point in time, like the Indian Prime Minister has also made it very, very clear, this is not the age of war. This is the age of trade and economies aspiring to become greater.
I mean, coming to Latham's, politically incorrect statement about Donald Trump, I think the least said is better. I don't think he held any bars when he called him deluded or completely mad. I mean, the way President Trump is basically conducting himself is very, very undiplomatic, to say the least. He's breaking all the diplomatic protocols that should be there. I mean, this G7 summit could have been one of those particular podiums where all of the big leaders of the world could have sort of got together and understood what are the various security challenges that the world is faced with, and how do we go about mitigating them. Leaving that halfway, going back to United States, setting up a security council, and then tweeting out saying that Iran, beware. It's pretty evident that he's looking at a regime change in Iran, and that's not going to be a very, very it's going to be a bloody sight, to say the least. The Iranian regime is not going to go down without a fight, and they will hold their population as hostage, and they have been known to hold their population as hostage, which is not a fair thing to be done. And there are going to be civilian lives which are going to be at stake. So I think President Trump is taking a massive, he's taking a massive punt at this. And I don't think a regime change at this point of time in Iran is the way to go forward. I mean, it's going to open up a Pandora's box, which nobody knows how to control. We've seen this in president's perspective. We've seen this in Iran. We've seen this in Iraq, in Syria, and various parts of the world where the United States has tried to engineer some sort of a regime change. And we do not want South Asia to become a center which is basically completely uncontrollable, and where different factions are fighting between themselves to gain control of the seats of Tehran. So that's number one. I think number two, from a G7 perspective, Vineet, I think Prime Minister Modi has made it very clear that this is not the era of war, and we need to sit down and look at dialogue as a perspective, which is why he's even sitting down with Zelensky. Hopefully to have a very candid conversation with him before he meets President Putin next month when he does fly to India. So it's about having dialogues and resolving issues and mitigating those issues, and that is what India's message on the larger front has been through its diplomatic outreach, Beneath.